You ever wanted to just sit on the porch with a cigar in your mouth, counting your 30 or 40 or 50 vehicles and, of course, your trillions of dollars? Well, now you can do that. Today, we're going to be taking a look at what I consider capitalist game simulators. And the first one we're going to look at is an oil tycoon game called Turmoil. That's right, guys. Now, you can start a campaign in this game or a single game. We are going to start a campaign just so I show you guys how the game kind of works. And essentially, you have to select one of these four players. We're going to take Joshua for now, but you can see they each have their own, abilities, things like that. Daisy is an attorney, for instance, but Joshua is just a good old-fashioned cowboy, and I like that. It starts off, you get here to the town hall, and you actually have to buy a parcel of land. In addition to buying a parcel of land, you need to buy digging materials to actually be able to unlock the oil. And we're actually going to find out how to do it here. And this is how they do it in the old days, believe it or not, dowsers. Now, does anybody know what a dowser is? If you do, let me know in the comments below. But that is how you would find. So right now we're going to just bid for a location. And I'm going to bid for this location close to the water. The reason is I've always heard, and I could be wrong, but I've always heard that gold is close to water. Maybe right here, but not like right on it, you know? So let's go ahead. And we are going to get started here. Now, once again, we have to go over here to purchase different things, usually, additional materials or better, products to extract oil. But when you start the game, there's not much, right? There's just the town hall. McMoney's is actually being built, and so is the stables. So you kind of have to go ahead and just get started with the very basics for your first dig. And then over time, you will, of course, improve. Now, you've got a company over there to the left called Left Inc., and there's a company to the right called Right Inc. And in capitalist fashion, what will happen is the price will go down or up for each company, depending on what's going on. And you kind of have to decide, which company you are going to sell to. Now, when the game starts, it's just Left Inc., of course. So we're just looking for oil. We're trying to find that black gold. And if we can, well, it's going to be a whole lot easier for us. So far, the dowsers haven't found a damn thing. Maybe we got to get another one over here. Oh, okay. So this one is claiming that there is oil. But again, dowsers, it's a very imperfect science. I wouldn't call it a science at all. So we need to try and get to that oil. There we go. Oh, we found some, boys, some black gold. And we need to make sure also that this thing is transported and doesn't start leaking. Because sure enough, it's oil. It will start leaking. It'll get bad. So I'm going to do that. And this guy seems to have also found oil. Currently, there's a really bad price at 56 cents, so I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to keep on getting some wagons. We'll make sure that at least it doesn't overflow. And you can connect multiple channels. You can also, given sufficient time in the game, you can actually also go ahead and upgrade it with gas, vapors, etc. to make the oil come up quicker. You can upgrade your wells. And again, I just think in terms of capitalist simulators, man, this one definitely hits the spot and definitely gives that feeling of sort of, the early venture capitalist. See, this well might not even have anything. These damn dowsers. All right, let's move on to game numero dos. I'd also ask when you're watching these this series, let me know which of the games that I shared here is one that you liked, or one that you played, or one that you would recommend, etc., etc. As you can see there, we got our cash going up. Now, this next one we're going to look at, this is a fairly new one, and it's actually known as Big Ambitions. And let me tell you, this game has some big ambitions. You've got all sorts of different things that you can focus on over here, different businesses, things like that, that you can actually purchase, or, of course, that you can simply compete with. Right now, we've actually got a nice little liquor store, and we've also got a burger shop. And over time, you can actually go ahead and build these places up. It's completely up to you. Over time, build, massive corporations. I'm talking like massive building corporations. Purchase the newest vehicle, etc. It's just absolutely fascinating. And you can even get tickets for parking or not parking your vehicle correctly. Just like in a real city, There's a day-night cycle, all that. You do need to get your food, you need to get your rest, all of that stuff. And of course, you need to take care of your businesses and the employees within them. It's just absolutely fascinating. Over here, you can see we've got all sorts of different employees for our businesses, and we can actually train them. We can also change the uniform presets, manage their schedules. And let me tell you guys, I mean, you can create any sort of business you want in this game. Just crazy. Gift City's not doing so well, but you can see the average daily income for each of the stores. And I'm actually at the part of the game where my uncle has asked me to buy a purchasing or hire a purchasing agent, get an official headquarters for all three businesses, and that is going to, of course, potentially turn into even more profit for me later on. I would definitely give this one a look. If you're not 100% sure about it just from this video, because there's very little I could show about this game in this video, you really have to experience it, but I would recommend it big time. It's just fantastic. Ooh, it's my burger place. Now, in my opinion, this is the ultimate in capitalist tycoon simulators or capitalist simulators, whatever you want to call it. This is called plutocracy. Now, I'm going to give a huge sort of negative caveat here, which is that this game has been in development for, I believe, like 5 years. It's crazy. However, I will say this. As recently as December of 2024, there were updates. So the creator is adding updates. It's just this is such a massive game that I think it's going to take a decade just to complete it. So the interesting thing is you start in just after actually the American Civil War. So keep in mind, you do have a political element of the game, either being a Republican or a Democrat, but they mean very different things than they do today. You have to pick a starting state. There are, of course, only, I think, 37 at this point states in the Union. And once you go there, you actually can start investing in different companies. Now, if I wanted to, I would go ahead and change up the look of my character, but we're just taking a look at the game, so I'm not going to do that. You can also mess with difficulty here, small savings, large savings, etc., or starting shares. It looks like our starting year is 1949. Let's get that back to 1890. I thought there was an 1870 version. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game. So actually quite a bit after the American Civil War, but again, a fascinating time for monopolies. And again, the artwork in the game is incredibly good. We've got a miner here. Of course, workers can have strikes in your companies. Your companies can be bombed. I mean, there's so much you can do. You can get companies banned using politicians. And yes, there is a whole political element to the game, as well as just the good old fashioned standard element. So when we start here, we've got $1 million to spend, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the companies within our state of Nebraska here. You can see we've got some oil companies. We've got a couple banks as well. And in fact, it looks like Insulis Bank and Texon Inc. are the only banks in this particular state. Now, Texon is got a market cap of 14.6 million, but it's losing money. I think this is a good time to buy. Now, the thing about this game, which I think separates it and makes it like a true capitalist game, is the class system is very relevant. So if you don't reach a certain prestige level, which is directly correlated with like the goods you own, basically, and I'll explain that in a bit here, then people won't even deal with you. Now, this person, Isabella Butler, she will deal with us. We're going to try to buy some shares of Texon Inc. But even though she will deal with us, again, she's kind of... She's just barely willing to deal with us. So the price we're going to get for these shares, it's not going to be that great, to be honest with you. I thought I got rid of the tutorial. What the hell? Sorry about that. So if I just do this, for instance, I don't want to buy that many shares, but let's do this. We're asking, so the most she's willing to, I mean, if we did 18,937, we're going to spend our entire million. I don't want to risk our entire million on one company, so let's try this. And of course, we're going to start negotiations, and this gives us a bunch of different options. Now, that's a decent price, but I want even better than that. I really do. However, because, look at that. That's a beautiful price right there. So we're going to agree. Because we're starting off, we don't get the option to negotiate just yet. You got to do a few deals first. before you even get the option. For now, you kind of just have to accept things. But look what happened. And this is where this game becomes incredible. Because we bought over 1% of that entire company, we can now actually look directly at Texon Inc. Nebraska's worker rate, its reserves, the amount of clients it has, and we can even help to manage the company. Of course, Isaac Cook is the CEO, but given some time, we can ultimately purchase this company. It's going to take a while, but it can absolutely be done. Now, what was I talking about? The influence system and the prestige system. So, if you look at the right side of the screen there, there's going to be different. Oh God, what are they called? Not that. Although this is more political information that's really important too. And again, you support the Democrats or the Republicans, and it will help you out depending on who you support. Um, but there's going to be auctions, and that's the word I'm looking for. So there's going to be auctions for like luxury goods. And while these goods may seem kind of a waste at first, the fact is, if you purchase these goods and you succeed in these auctions, the other millionaires, they'll have a higher opinion of you. You can see a bunch of them are also doing some auctions themselves. We didn't win this one, but it just gives you an idea of how the game works. And you don't have to stay in your home state, by the way. If you want to, you can leave, go to another state and purchase, stuff there. I think I'm going to be purchasing stuff from both banks if I can. Although, as you can see, nobody is willing to do any business with me just yet. Maybe next turn. Now, the game also has a campaign system where you get to follow guys, I believe, Andrew Carnegie. You get to follow really, really wealthy, of course, capitalists in their timeline, if that makes sense, and try to recreate, their value, their market value. It's just fantastic, man. There's also a whole skill point system that I haven't even touched upon in this game, including a political agent system. A federal government system. I mean, this one is deep. It's why I saved it for last and why I wanted to show you guys the game itself. It's just, I don't think there's anything really like this out there. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments down below, what games do you consider the best capitalist simulators or tycoons? Let me know. Thank you, guys.